What up? Welcome back to another good hour on a Victory Monday. The Chiefs now sitting 10-1 atop the AFC West. Got the second best record in the National Football League right now. So congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs on a win against the what are they? The Buccaneers, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Tom Brady at the helm on year one. Very interesting game, 27-24, and it looks very, very Mahomes-esque, and we'll talk about all of that in just a little bit. But right now, it's time to introduce the crew to you. To my upper right nephew, Captain Wall Street, Dr. Wall Street himself, Steve Walsh. What's up, nephew?
What's going on, man? I'm excited about today. So last week we left on a high note. Everybody was wild up about this. So I'm happy about today. You know, if you guys are watching, and make sure you share the show. Share the show to all your Facebook friends.
Absolutely, and don't forget you can also do it as well on our YouTube channel.
That's right.
All right, right up on the nephew, you've got the professor of sports radio, cousin in the building, Darren Smith.
What's going on, gentlemen? Look, I'm glad to be here. Like Steve said, we left on a high note last week, and trust me, we come into today, some of us on a high note as well, but for different reasons. So, based off of last night's game, which we'll get into, I don't know. I think I'm more upset than happy about last night's performance. But glad to talk some football with my guys.
Did you hawk your Lombardi trophy for heat money?
No. I'm sorry. No, my bad. No. It's here. You know, we flex.
All right, using it to weigh down his quarter pounder wrappers. Oh, that's old school. They put them in boxes now. My bad. All right, and right next to cousin, his pre-Nate Robinson hair working for him today. Talking about the infamous DJQ.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's happening, yo?
Oh, nothing much, man. You know, just riding around in these KC streets that are full of good energy since the Chiefs are winning now.
I don't know, because people might be overreacting.
We're definitely going to talk about the game yesterday because a lot of people are upset that it was so close when it shouldn't have been. And in my mind, as I was watching the game, it looked as if the defense, who was barely there at times in the weeks past, were looking for a way to lose this game yesterday. And I'm the only person that was looking at the defense like, what are y'all doing? I mean, call after call of nonsense?
To the defense.
I was looking at the offensive coaches. I was looking at the offense.
Go ahead.
No, I said I was looking at the offense. It's easy to blame the defense, but the offense left too many points on the field in the first quarter alone. So
it's easy to blame the defense when the defense is screwing up, and the defense screwed up a lot yesterday.
Well, right, but the defense didn't have nothing to do with that.
Their credit, though, they did hold it down. They made Tom Brady in the offense punt three times in a row. So when you're able to help your offense gain a lead like that, they did play well in the first half. Now, second half, I can't say that, but the first half they played well. I mean, they shut Ronald Jones down. I mean, they were defending. They had Steve Spagnuolo drew up different blitz packages. I mean, you saw Tyrann Mathieu, getting his hands on the quarterback. So, I think that the defense played well the first half. Now, they have to complete a game. You just can't just play well in the first half and expect your offense to outscore everybody. But, I mean, it worked out yesterday.
But, Sean, if I made this –
Honey Badger last week saying that, they call him the rent collector, and he hadn't collected rent in a while. Well, he walked away with a couple months' rent yesterday. He did snatch one out there.
Well, hold on now. Let's be 100. He didn't snatch out the air. Brady threw it off of somebody's helmet, and it just happened to be up there. So, wasn't like it was there. It was a gift from Brady.
But he still had to put his hands on it and hold on to the ball and make a football move and go the other way. So he did do something.
He did, but what I want to say to Steve's point before he threw it to Tyrann was the fact that I think the defense played well to an extent in the second half because you did get the 2 interceptions, as you just mentioned, Sean, but the offense couldn't do anything with it, which, again, is the frustrating part because they scored 17 in the first quarter. They scored 7 more points in the.
Darren, slow down. We have not gotten to the offensive side of the ball yet. We are still talking defense. We'll make that move in a second. I know you're upset.
I got a lot to be upset about, but yeah.
But we will talk about the offense yesterday. We are still talking defense right now. And there's a reason why we're talking defense first tonight, because it was a record-setting day for offense yesterday, regardless of Darren's anger. But you see what I'm saying about the defense yesterday, Q, especially the second half. There were just a lot of silly mistakes that these pros who are not rookies should not have been making yesterday. And it could have cost us the game.
Yeah, and it definitely could have cost the game, but I don't. It's really tough to gain momentum against this team because of the offense. The defense did play well in the first half, but I think they had gotten to a point where the play calling got kind of stale, because it seemed like Tampa Bay started to pick up a little bit. It looked like it took a while for Tom to really get in the game, but when he got into it, they were all right. But even from my eyes, I'm still seeing a team on that side of the ball that just hasn't gelled yet. And that takes away nothing from the defense, because the defense still has to, force certain things. The offense still has to force certain things upon the defense, and they just couldn't do it early on.
And I would really love to know what happened between Chris Jones and Tom Brady.
Yeah, I mean, there's still that frustration factor of not playing well, and these guys, they understand it. They understand, what people are saying. I mean, even Tyrann Mathieu said, "Hey, we're not going to listen to, what folks are saying on the outside. We're only going to listen to what we're supposed to be doing in this locker room among our bond of brothers." And so, it is what it is. But the thing about it is they were getting their hands on Tom Brady. I mean, you've seen Frank Clark, even though it was 2 penalties. I'm okay with those penalties because he was getting his hands on the quarterback. He was letting his presence be felt. And so I'm sure Tom Brady was like, man, these guys are coming. And so I don't want to be hit. The penalty that Frank Clark had was, to me, didn't even seem like a penalty. I mean, he barely touched him.
Well, they don't want you touching the quarterback.
Same, but Frank
did the same. It is what it is.
Frank did the same thing that the Bucks player did to Patrick just moments earlier. You got to call that, and the fact that he did it 2 plays in a row. I mean, it's like you didn't learn the first time around. So
he learned. I'm okay with those penalties, man. You get it after the quarterback. You want him to be aggressive, right? You don't, man. You take those after he's not. The past few weeks he hasn't been that aggressive. You have to take those.
Oh, look. I appreciate you getting aggressive, but I know someone mentioned about Chris Jones earlier. To me, that same, kind of like we talked about our guy with Kieran last week, that same energy that you showing to Tom Brady, you show up in the stat book with just 2 quarterback hits. Like, you don't even register a tackle. I need that same energy throughout the game. Don't get up in Tom Brady's face just because you have 27 or whatever, but you not really doing anything to contribute to the ball game. And so he's being paid $20 million. Frank is well. Tyrann, like I said, he got a gift from Brady yesterday, but he still didn't really play well. Our players, our quote unquote star money players, are not living up to what they're supposed to be doing, and we have to call them out on that. I mean, we can't. I know we cover them. I know we like them, but again, that's why you got to have that little separation between the two, because we got to be able to call them out when they're not playing well, and they are not playing well. Anthony Hitchens and other players are playing well, and that's been able to cover up their lapses. But again, you give up 31 points against the Panthers. You give up 31 points last week. You allow this team to come back in, and again, we're going to talk about the offense, but for us to be able to make those defensive plays and stops, and we don't convert them, again, the game never should have been that close towards a 3-point game to finish it up.
But to sit up here and say that they didn't play well in that first half, and I understand it's the whole game, but to sit here and say that they didn't play well in the first half, I think they did. They played a lot better in the first half than we thought that they would play against Tom Brady with all those weapons that he has. I mean, they shut him down. He wasn't able to. You saw what Tom Brady did every third down.
They shut him down in the first quarter. The
second quarter, we scored 1 touchdown in the second quarter, right? But the defense still showed up. So you got to remember that Man, Tom Brady is still a Hall of Famer. He's still a gamer at the end of the day. He knows the ins and outs. I mean, you saw the way that he used Rob Gronkowski yesterday.
Yes.
I mean,
again, I'm not
all day.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that point. But again, when we're looking at, I guess again, because I know we're focused on defense, but again, I'm looking at it in the totality of it because what happened defensively was because of the lack of what they were able to do offensively, or what they didn't do with the points that they wasted or that they left out there on the field. I can't. It's hard for me to just look at one side of it. What I know, it's a combination of both, and the result, a cause and effect of what happened offensively factored over to what happened defensively. Because again, if the offense does what they're supposed to do first couple of drives, we're having a totally different conversation than a 27-24 ball game.
But the thing about it is, regardless of if the offense is scoring or not, they kept Tom Brady from scoring. They got the offensive ball back, which is what they're supposed to do as a defense.
Yeah.
And whether it looks good or not, they got Tom Brady to go 3 and out 3 times.
No. I'm not arguing with you about that. But again, they forced Tom Brady into 2 interceptions. But the offense should have been able to, do something with that. Because again, if you're in a dogfight with Tom Brady, and he's giving you the ball on 2 possessions via interception, and you don't make him pay for it, I mean, that's no different than a punt, more or less. And so that's the reason why, that's the reason why I guess I'm harping on it, because again, we don't, you don't want this to. I know this is just one game. Is look, they're 10-1. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not making it seem like it's cause for concern, but I can't accept anything in a win that I'm not going to accept for in a loss. So I've got to call it. Saying, like I see it. And so that's the thing. I mean, they won the game, yes, but in the manner in which they won, it shouldn't have been a ball game.
I agree. And you mentioned the offense. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, 37 of 49, 462 yards, 3 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill had a day yesterday. 13 receptions, 209 yards, 3 touchdowns. Travis Kelce followed up with 8 receptions, 82 yards. And then Sammy Watkins even got in the mix yesterday with 4 receptions or 38 yards. You guys' thoughts on Patrick Mahomes' day yesterday?
I think they selected this game to be the game. I think it was a game that they wanted to make a statement, especially on offense. And we saw it with Tyreek. I mean, they tried to, man coverage him, especially early, and it just didn't work. It didn't work out in their favor. And you really got to see this team on offense play towards their strengths. And we haven't seen it in a while, and I believe it's because they don't want to give up too much, especially during the season, and during a time when they can use all of these other weapons. And Tyreek is definitely the X factor on this offense, especially from the skill position players. And they fed him, they fed him, and they made that statement.
And it was almost a given. And I know Darren and I talked about it on a pregame show yesterday, that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I mean, they blitz 40% of the time. And with the linebackers that they have that were going to cover Travis Kelce, they wanted to have a one-on-one matchup on the outside, against Tyreek. And they had to have felt good about it, but like the commentators kept saying yesterday, until you see these guys, with these young cornerbacks, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, yes. I don't think they were ready for the speed of that offense. No. They just weren't, and they were going to live and die by the one-on-one matchup on the outside yesterday, and they died by it. You got to like they're going to continue to do what they do, and they didn't change up anything.
Steve, I'll be honest. When the game started, and talked a little bit about it, I'm sure today, I didn't know whether their corner was in the doghouse or with with Todd Bowles or Bruce Arians, because I'm like, you see this kid, this guy needs help, and you would think after the first touchdown pass, okay, you might want to double up on Tyreek. And the fact that they let him get through the whole first quarter, I mean, every time the camera panned to him on the sideline on the bench, dude, it just made me feel more and more sorry for the guy. Like, bro, I'm sorry. I mean, and of course Tyreek was like, hey, I better get some help or something to call in some help. I felt I felt bad for the guy because there was nothing that it seemed like that the defense was able to do in that first quarter against Tyreek, and the fact that you allowed him to get 200 plus yards. Really, again, for me, it's frustrating because I'm like, you put up that many yards as a wide receiver in the first quarter. Okay, granted, yeah, he's not going to do it all 4 quarters, but you're like, man, okay, you could get 800 yards today. Like, keep your foot on the gas pedal, Andy Reid. I digress. I'll leave it alone.
And the thing about it too is like, all right, he scored for one. Like, okay, well maybe that was just one of those things. Then he comes back and does it again, and you're like,
on the 75-yarder.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, you gotta shade that safety over there. But it seems like, and we can't say it was just all Tyreek Hill because Patrick Mahomes did a great job of selling Tyreek route, and looking over. And not looking at him the whole way down the field. That means the safety's going to travel over there. So let's look at Tyreek Hill's highlights from yesterday.
Little sling to Hill. And already with a big strike, a bigger pass play than they had all of last week against the Raiders. It goes for 34 yards. That one-on-one coverage. What a catch by Hill. Able to pull it down right over Carlton Davis. Pick up a 23.
It's an inside split, and it's just a go route. And you see the speed. It's a perfectly thrown ball. Davis can't get his eyes around. Mahomes sees he can't, so you just throw the ball a little bit behind.
Which fell incomplete, and now you want a deep ball. Here it is. Hill for the touchdown. 75 yards. What a strike. It's the best single-season touchdown interception ratio ever. And Hill says he's on that 1,000-yard pace for the day, Tony. It's like 3rd and 1 for this team. Down the field, who else? Hill at the 10, cut back, touchdown. Touchdown and a leap. Carlton Davis has been beaten again. And Hill is over 200 yards in this opening quarter. 2nd and 8. Down the sideline, there's that pass to Hill. Makes the catch. Bounced out. After a pickup of 21, Winfield popped him out of bounds.
Cover 2. Cornerback sitting the flat.
Got a 2nd and 4. Empty backfield. Going for the big strike. He's got it. It's Hill again for the touchdown. And once again, victimized.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at that, it's you already know. Patrick Mahomes to Tyreek Hill. He just fed the hot hand.
Yeah, and it was embarrassing.
When Jim Nance's calling you out, that's a bad thing. I felt once again, like, bro, and they use the man's government name so his mama and daddy know who he's talking about. Just, oh man, I feel sorry for that guy.
I'm back. I don't know where we are.
we finally
talked about Tyreek Hill.
We talking about Tyreek Hill. He had a day, and I mean,
did we go over the numbers?
We went over Patrick Mahomes' numbers, but you can mention them again.
Yesterday was a pretty weird day offensively for the Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes already, 37-49, 462 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Travis Kelce 0 for 1 yesterday. That would have been a great play had he made the pass to Patrick Mahomes, who was open in the end zone, and he actually could have made it, but there was a delay, and, of course, we saw that fail. But receiving yesterday, Tyreek Hill, 13 catches, 269 yards, 3 touchdowns. In the first quarter, he had 203 yards alone.
Yeah, and it was almost like they took their foot off the gas, though. And I mean, I know Darren wants to say, it's
they did. They did.
Yeah, and I mean, the simple fact that they were able to, they can score when they want to, and I think they understand that. And I know it's any given Sunday, and I know you're going to say, well, not against every team they're going to be able to do that, but they were scoring at will yesterday against a solid defense.
Well, Darren, let me ask you this yesterday, since they took their foot off the gas. Patrick Mahomes yesterday threw balls to Travis Kelce, Sammy Watkins, Demarcus Robinson, McCole Hardman, Le'Veon Bell, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Deion Yelder even caught a pass from Patrick Mahomes yesterday. It's not like he wasn't trying.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if he wants. I don't know if he wants to cook it. I mean, that's his job to get the ball out to the receiver.
But that's fine. But you saw McCole Hardman, who had an open pass several times, drop the ball.
Oh,
Sammy Watkins.
Look, I can't do nothing about the drops now. Of course, Patrick Mahomes is trying to take the blame for that versus McCole Hardman just dropping a surefire touchdown, a 90-yard touchdown catch. But It is what it is. But what I'm saying is that look, I guess we're going to overlook the fact when they were down in the red zone and Patrick dropped back 3 straight times and threw the ball out of bounds. I mean, we don't even know what the play was going to be because the pressure was there and he just threw the ball out. So I mean, that was a wasted possession within the red zone. We're not going to talk about, I guess, the fumble that happened because of the black. And I know Steve was like, "Hey, look, there's a lot to talk about." And look, we didn't talk about the defense giving up a touchdown on 4th and 3 to Tampa Bay. I think it was to Ronald Jones as well. So I'm just saying there are reasons why I was concerned coming out of that game because here's the thing. You have opportunities, and obviously Travis Kelce with the pass or whatever. For me, when you get down to the goal line, especially when you're 1 yard out, you don't need to do all that trickery. I mean, you just line up, do smash mouth football. I say that's what you got Le'Veon Bell for. Get the 7 points. You can do all the fancy stuff when you're up 28-0. That's just.
Oh, Darren, I'm not gonna let you crush this the offense like this, man. Because here's the thing.
I got more for it.
You were amongst other people, the first one to always say Andy Reid is a genius, man. You see him going back to the 1940s. Running.
Well, what do? Hold on. No, let me. What do I also say? Make sure you put everything in there.
You're always saying, well, Patrick's running in motion. They're drawing up all this stuff, and when it works, it's kudos to Andy and Eric Bieniemy. But now when it doesn't, you're trying to condemn them like, man, y'all shouldn't be doing these fancy plays on. Keep that same energy though, Darren. Come on, man.
Let me ask you this, Darren. So a money truck is driving in front of you. The door's open. Money's flying out everywhere. You grab $100,000 this money and you're gone. Are you mad at yourself because you didn't grab $200,000? We are 10-1. We won the game. W's count, even if it's by one score, 1 point even. We won the game. So why the anger?
A few reasons, and I'll say it very calmly. First of all, you don't look. This was a big game. This was a statement game. It's a national game.
Which we walked away from with a W.
Okay, but you have questions coming out that game about. Look, you could have easily been up 28-0. A statement because mind you now, this could be a team that you could face in the Super Bowl. You're going to be facing New Orleans next month as well. When you're facing a team like this, you want to remove all doubt. You don't even want to give them a chance to say, okay, if we face you in February here, we got a chance. This is why I use an analogy. You take a sledgehammer to a gnat or whatever. I mean, you want to put your foot on their neck, keep it on there, and continue to pile up and make them question themselves, and not the other way around.
Here's the thing about that. You saw Andy Reid. They had 4th and 1 on the goal line, right? What did Andy do? He went and kicked the field goal. Why? Because he understood that his offense couldn't be stopped. I mean, if you like, look, if it's the old Tom Brady, you're like 4th and 1, we going for it on the goal line. But your offense is rolling at that point, and you're like, man, nah, we can't. This is a game. We see what we're gonna get. He didn't even go for it on the 4th and 1.
No. Okay, hold on. Here's it. Look, this how you remember how you talked about it, how well the defense played in the first half. Mm-hmm. Remember how you said that? Yeah. It's 4th and 1, 4th and inches on the goal line. even if you don't make it, you have Tom Brady go 99.5 yards. If your defense balling like that, then they can get a safety. That's what you do.
But we're not talking about the defense. We're talking about the offense.
But again, see, they go hand in hand. You got to play both sides of the ball. So what I'm saying, if we sit and say how well they played, if we sit and say about how well they played in the first half,
okay, gentlemen,
you try to get that touchdown, and then they don't let the defense do what they do. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, Darren. Bottom line, we walked away with the W yesterday, and as Shannon Sharp even said, we handed Tom Brady a steaming helping of L after the game on Sunday. So they got that L. We got the W. And if that trick play would have worked between Travis Kelce and Mahomes, we would have been up another score. But I want to know how they came up with
31 points. I guess I'm not complaining.
We talked to Pat Mahomes about that play and how they came up with it.
My God, man. Well, me and Travis made it up first off, and we called it Black Pearl because we're bringing it to the Bucs and the Pirates of the Caribbean and everything like that. And I talked him into it. Coach Reed for sure told him if he can run it first. But I just kind of talked to him on the side and was like, "I'm open, man. Just throw it to me." So I think that little hesitation that he had was just because I had talked to him too much about it.
So he got into his head actually. And that's how it got broken up. But that was actually cool to watch, though.
And one more thing,
something different on the offense.
One more thing about that, you got to remember Andy Reid is a player's coach. He allowed them to draw up that play and allowed them to go out and have fun. You don't want this stale. Oh, we just gonna run the football. Man, every other team does that. Let them have fun, man. Let them go out there and be creative. Don't just stick them in this box and say, oh, well, this is what y'all need to do. Y'all need to run the ball. Don't go out there and have fun. Don't do the slick trickery stuff. No, let them go out there and have fun, man. It just happened at this time it didn't work. But if it did work, you're like, man, Travis Kelce, now he threw for a touchdown. Come on, man.
Now, if you want to be mad about something, let's be mad about the fact that the Atlanta Falcons yesterday just totally obliterated the Raiders, who we kind of struggled against.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think I mentioned that earlier, but yeah.
I mean,
that's all. Best of all, of me and Steve's parlays yesterday as well. So
I might have been kicked out of the interwebs when y'all had that conversation. Speaking of being kicked out of the interwebs, the game that we were most looking forward to on Thanksgiving Day got moved and postponed and moved and postponed and moved and postponed again. Talking about the Ravens and the Steelers. The Steelers are still undefeated. The Ravens are struggling, and this game will happen now Wednesday afternoon at 2:30, and I'm thinking on NBC. They haven't given a network yet, but that was the network it was initially on, so I'm assuming it'll be on
it's NBC.
NBC on Wednesday at 2:30. We're going to be talking to Spencer Ware in just a little bit, former pro running back, and see what he thought about the record-setting first quarter for Tyreek Hill yesterday. And tonight we got Monday Night Football, the Eagles versus the Seahawks, and the playoffs are starting to slowly shift into place, and there are a lot of people scrapping and scraping for their lives just to try to get one of those last wild card spots, and I'm still trying to get my hand around the understanding about the extra playoff positions, but we'll get into all of that in just a little bit. I do want to remind you that if you have not had a chance to log on and register to win, you still got some time. Make sure you click on the link and enter for your chance to win. This, of course, is presented by the DeVoya Marshall Agency of Farmers Insurance. She's taking care of all your insurance needs. Make sure you give her a call at 816-601-3301. She will make sure that you are properly insured through this wintertime because the weather is sure isn't changing. It's a little brisk outside today, but it's not where you are inside watching us right now talking about the Red Hour. So click on that link for your chance to win. And with the holidays coming up, we just got through Thanksgiving, but Christmas is the time of giving, and we want to make sure you have the opportunity to give. So we have a benefit that you can participate in and help those less fortunate, especially the children. So make sure you get all the information you can about the Bland Legacy and the Phenomenal Kids Child Care Learning Center for the virtual toy drive. All the information you can find on the Red Hour Facebook page. We have it right there, but definitely click on. And today is Cyber Monday, so a lot of great deals on Amazon that you can get to help benefit those less fortunate, especially the babies. So go on and make sure you click on that as well. We are going to take our first break. When we come back, We'll be talking to former Kansas City Chief Spencer Ware. We'll talk about Tyreek Hill and where he sees some of these playoff games possibly shaping up to be, and if he's got the Chiefs going all the way again this year to right back. So make sure you stick around. We'll be back in just a little bit. It's the Red Hour. Yeah, we got a lot going on this Victory Monday. Steve, Darren, DJ Q, and myself. Don't forget your chance to log on and register for that chance to win. The contest brought to you by the DeVoy Marshall Agency of Farmers Insurance, where they provide service for your insurance and investment needs with a farmer's family atmosphere. Call us 816-601-3301. You heard me? I said call us. Speaking of calling, somebody was calling on the Lord or whoever they could reach on Saturday. We had the big old dudes fight, and it's weird because I went to sleep early Saturday night and I didn't get a chance to see the fight. I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning and went right to the internet. And may I suggest to anybody who is interested in any sports or any event like that that's coming up to just go to Black Twitter once the event is over with. Yeah. It is the most entertaining thing in all the world. As a matter of fact, I was on Twitter for a good half an hour, and I still didn't get the results of the Tyson fight. But I sure know what happened to Nate Robbins. And if you missed it, we have a clip.
He's singing the hymns. He's trying to get Irene. That's it! Mamma Mia, the problem child, proving to be a big problem for Nate Robinson. My goodness. And of course, call an ambulance. Pick up people.
One more time, just in case they didn't see it.
He's singing the hymns. He's trying to get Irene. That's it! Mamma Mia, the problem child, proving to
the memes for that knockout were absolutely phenomenal. The internet is undefeated, unlike Nate Robinson. But there's also a clip of commentary of Snoop Dogg, and I swear to you, I want Snoop Dogg to commentate anything going on for the rest of 2020. I want him to do play-by-play for the inauguration in January.
The Super Bowl. Hey man, I got to tell you something. We just watching that clip. I swear, what it needed Snoop Dogg and it needed good old JR and Jim Ross calling it, because with Snoop doing that, you can hear JR say, "My God, he killed him! He killed him! Damn it, he killed him!" Because he gets hit, he gets knocked down, and he hits the camera's face first. And so it was over. He'd be like, "My God, he's dead in heaven." So I'm saying, needed Jim Ross on that along with Snoop Dogg. That would have been perfect.
Snoop Dogg was singing old Negro spirituals. It was hilarious.
It was.
Precious Lord. Ooh, precious Lord.
If you get a chance, make sure you go online and just Google Snoop Dogg commentating Nate Robinson. And somebody check on Nate Robinson today. He is not okay.
When his friends was saying, he came back to the group chat and he was taking all their mess from him because of what happened. So I'm assuming okay.
Because he
also heard that he asked for a rematch. Didn't he ask for a rematch?
Did he? I hope he didn't.
I heard he
No. He asked for some matches.
Okay.
He asked for more matches.
I mean,
In all
they
seriousness,
can't even wake him up with the smell of salt.
we had a chance to talk to who was it? I think it was Sugar Ray or Shane
Mosley at the Super Bowl. Yeah,
at the Super Bowl about training Jake Paul, and he said Jake Paul moved out to Colorado where Shane was staying at, and he stayed out there for a full 7 months. Didn't do anything but train boxing.
Yeah.
Training. So he said he was taking it serious at that point, and he's day in and day out. He's living and breathing boxing. And
I'm guessing Nate Robinson was perfecting that fall because it was flawless. So he had to go over that 3 or 4 times. So
10 of 10.
I'll be honest. Well, look, I'll be honest. Actually, I think the most shocking thing to come out of that, including the knockout, was the fact that both fighters only paid $600. I thought when it was posted on Twitter, I thought somebody just magically erased the case, but they were only paid $600 for that bout, which is amazing considering what everybody else made that night.
No, they had to have been paid more than that.
It was more.
They probably get something off the pay-per-view, but I'm saying, I guess the initial, like Tyson and Jones got $1 million for the fight itself, $1 million each, but they get obviously money from the pay-per-view. So that's what I'm saying.
Nate Robinson, all he needs right now is a My Pillow endorsement because
sleepnumber.com.
He can guarantee a restful sleep. That's for damn sure. We got Monday Night Football tonight with the Eagles and the Seahawks, and again, the MVP talk is slowly leaning back toward the Patrick Mahomes way because this kid is still. He just goes out there and he produces magic, even though he doesn't put up as many points as Darren wants him to on any given win that he has. We still have the second best record in the NFL right now, and the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers. We're waiting for this game on Wednesday to happen to see what happens because there are a lot of sleeper games coming up on the Steelers schedule as well as the Chiefs schedule. Because coming up, we have Sunday Night Football with the Broncos from Arrowhead this coming Sunday. Then we visit the Dolphins in Miami. We visit the Saints in New Orleans. The Falcons come here and the Chargers come here. We said that the Chiefs would lose 3 games this season. Effie, is that where you had it? 2 or 3 games?
I had 4, but
Yeah, 4 games. So you definitely don't have us at 4. Losing 4 games now, right?
I might have.
I think we can lose 3 of these 5 games.
Except my sleep.
No.
Honestly, I don't foresee them losing. I don't see them losing again. I mean, the only sleeper I possibly can see is that Miami game or the Atlanta Falcons game. Those
and I was going to say that Falcons game just because of what they did to the Raiders, because apparently they figured something out.
Yeah, without Julio. So
Darren, you made a face, so you don't.
Well, no, because I thought Steve would at least go with his Super Bowl, with his other Super Bowl pick, the Saints for them. The Chiefs will probably lose that game. That's the only reason.
They're going to take two. In Shannon Sharp's voice, they're going to take 2 L's from the Chiefs, the Saints. One in regular season and 1 in the Super Bowl. Remember that. Write that down. Take a picture.
Well, a lot of folks still have the Buccaneers making it to the Super Bowl, and they said that what we saw on Sunday was just a precursor to February back in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Tom's washed. That's it. He's washed, man.
So you don't see.
I don't know. The Chiefs defense gave up 24 points. Anything is possible.
Wait, Steve, he's washed.
Yeah, Tom's washed.
He just threw for 345 yards, and you're calling him washed.
And 3 touchdowns.
Why?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Against the 452
yards.
Game was over by then.
Oh, you talking about Tom Brady?
Yes.
So now we're saying it's garbage points. Okay.
It was gimmies.
Oh, they were.
Those were not Dak Prescott numbers. Those were not Dak Prescott.
Hey, we're going to ignore Steve's trolling for today.
So speaking of quarterback woes, we saw the Broncos have to go way down their depth chart to find someone to throw for them on Sunday because their quarterbacks violated league policies for COVID. And they had a wide receiver who found out the day before the game they played that he was actually going to be starting that game as quarterback, and they actually used several options for quarterback, none of which worked, by the way. But Sunday, they have just signed a new quarterback. So they've got somebody else to come in and play for them. But again, it's a short week for whoever's coming in trying to learn schemes and figure out what they're going to do. And they're going to be in a hostile environment, even though there are really not a whole lot of fans. You are coming to Arrowhead. Do you see us abusing the Broncos the way they got abused by the Saints?
Yeah. This is
Darren
a confident
he thinks we're going to let them put up 24 points.
Yeah,
we probably will, but no. Well, no, I was going to say, shouldn't Drew Lock be back by then, though? I mean, because I know they were just high risk and everybody tested negative, so Drew Lock should be good to go if he continues to test negative by Sunday.
They weren't real sure about, or they didn't clarify how the punishment from the league was going. I didn't know if it was for 1 week or more, because the reason why they didn't have any quarterbacks was because of punishment from the league, not because of COVID.
Yeah, so the thing about it too is that they're going to miss. So they missed, I believe they missed Saturday, walk through on Saturday. They missed the game. Then they'll miss because of the NFL team facilities being closed. They'll miss today and tomorrow. So then the first day back will be Wednesday, which, I mean, you're a quarterback, but so you really don't need, that much, but you still have to game plan and everything. So I think they picked up Kyle Sharmer for just in case purposes, because they don't want to be caught like they were before, just in case, So
this is coming home for Drew Lock, Q.
Yeah, I see this as a confidence game for the Chiefs. I really don't foresee the Broncos doing anything. I think this is going to help the defense get back together, especially these next 2 weeks for the defense. They could gain a little momentum, especially going into the Saints game, which they may not need much of. But yeah, like you said, I think they get beat up on, and I think they beat up on them bad on prime time on Sunday night. Like, this is just going to be the game that, it'll be an MVP type game for Pat.
And the thing about
Chiefs will jump up 17-0 and put their foot on the brake.
The thing
they did.
The thing about this Denver team is, though, they're going to have to make sure they stop the run with Phillip Lindsay and Melvin Gordon. So that 1-2 punch, I mean, I would say that's the second best 1-2 punch in football behind the Cleveland Browns. I can say that's probably the third best, because I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire and this Chiefs running back core, Le'Veon. So yeah, I think that would probably be like the third best running back crew in the league.
And I love how Le'Veon is showing signs of life when they get him the ball. I mean, 5 carries for 22 yards yesterday, and he got some pretty decent mileage out of those 22 yards. So he's looking pretty good. I find it weird now that, we have this amazing quarterback and these Chiefs are playing like they are from years past, from being a Chiefs fan all of this time, and just knowing now that the postseason is almost a given for us. And we're not actually talking about if we make the postseason, but now we're looking like, what can we do, or what scenarios can happen for the Steelers to lose so we can get back into that first seed spot. So it's going to be interesting how the Steelers play out, because their schedule is pretty easy, and this Ravens game could be the matchup that we need to get them that one loss and put them on a. Are we disturbing your rest there?
No. No, not at all. I'm just thinking about what they're going to do Sunday. They're going to probably do the same thing they did this past week and score 17 points in the first quarter, and then next thing you know, we'll let our foot up off there and we'll say, "Oh, they won the game," so I freak out about it. As
you are such a negative Nancy.
The Chiefs been costing people money. Hey, the Chiefs have been costing people money lately. Okay, so let me just leave it at that.
Yeah, I need to learn how to bet better. I do want to apologize to you guys. Spencer Ware had a family emergency he had to deal with, so he's not able to join us. But once again, we want to thank our sponsor for the video call-ins, the DeVoya Marshall Agency of Farmers Insurance. Give her a call, 816-601-3301. They provide services for your insurance and investment needs, people. You heard that, investment needs with Farmer Family Atmosphere. Call DeVoya today, 816-601-3301. We will also find out who our winner is for the Red Hour weekly prize. Do you want to go ahead and do that now, nephew?
We can do it now. For this
right.
Red Hour prize, it's going to. I want to say congratulations to Albert Hobson. He's
Hobson, right on.
Yeah. So he's won it this week, and remember, each and every week you can be a winner as well. He's won a Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes Hallmark keepsake, which is you can place on your Christmas tree.
Darren will be absolutely mad with Patrick Mahomes on your tree because he won't get 3 candy canes instead of 10 candy canes. So make sure you set him in a proper spot on your tree.
And I don't ask for much. I just ask him to cover the spread and score over 30 points. I don't ask for much from me personally, from Patrick and the Chiefs.
And to be 19-0.
Selfish, man.
We have one under our belt, dude. One.
Hey, hold on. Now, hold on. But mind you, now Steve said they're gonna go 12-4. Now he's like, I don't think they're gonna lose any more games. Now again, I can feel a certain kind of way because you saw how this offense played throughout the year, and like you all said yesterday, well, they were just toying around with the Bucs. Well, you should have been toying around.
Look at that.
Right there.
Yes, that's
right there.
Hey, you know how God's timing is always on time because of that, and then also because of this is another touch from God is for the Denver Broncos to have to get a black quarterback at that for not signing Colin Kaepernick. So that just makes it even funnier. God is just working all around the NFL this week.
That's how you know God is real.
Sean, all I want to know is, do you remember that 1988 movie with the Richard Pryor called Moving?
Of course.
Well, that's how I feel right now. That's just how I feel right now.
Hey, and I'm screwed. That's gonna go around the internet a couple times this week. Just know that.
Hey, Darren, you can't do that. This is a family show.
Right.
I stuck up the wrong finger.
Oh, wow. So we got, again, Monday Night Football tonight, the Eagles and the Seahawks. So the playoff picture's starting to take shape in a lot of ways, and there are a lot of spoiler games that are coming up as well. And the Raiders, who look strong for a second there and look like they might be trying to hold on to a wild card spot, Carr and the offense for the Raiders looked pretty bad yesterday against the Atlanta Falcons. And I want to ask, do you think it was more so the Raiders that lost that game or the Falcons who figured out the formula to do what they did? Because, there's always that one team that exposes your weaknesses and just runs them over. It used to happen to the Chiefs a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was more so the Raiders. I think it was more so the Raiders. The Raiders being exposed more as a pretender than a contender. Now again, maybe to Steve's point before, maybe they just got the Chiefs' number this season to where they match up better and play better against Kansas City than they did against the Atlanta Falcons. I think going into the game, because they knew Julio wasn't going to be playing, maybe they came in overconfident, and as such, they took him lightly. And the one thing that Steve and I have talked about before is that the Falcons, they might not have all the weapons offensively, but they still been playing very well defensively for Raheem Morris ever since they fired the last coach. They've played well defensively, and it showed with the turnovers that they were able to force yesterday against the Raiders.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I mean, they put up 43 points on this Raiders team, and everyone's saying, "Oh, well, this Raiders team is the 4th best team in football." I didn't see it yesterday. It's just, and maybe they just had a bad game. But the thing about it is, Carr didn't play exceptionally well. I mean, Josh Jacobs only had 27 rushing yards. So, and the thing about it too is Matt Ryan didn't really play all that great either. I mean, he had 185 yards passing. So
he was Matt Ryan yesterday.
Yeah.
An old Matt Ryan.
But what's crazy is the Chiefs have better defensive players, but yet they were able to get after the quarterback and get to the quarterback that the Chiefs couldn't do. So, again, that's something, you look at coaching and drawing up players or something that, somehow, some way they were able to get to and force turnovers from Derek Carr and their running backs that the Chiefs couldn't do.
And the Dolphins are putting themselves in a spot to be one of those spoiler teams. Q, are you on the Tua train yet?
Oh, I've been on the Tua train. I when they booted out Fitzpatrick, I was happy for him. I definitely think it's time for him to get in there and to really get that experience for them to look forward to next season. So yeah, Tua, I am sold on him because he is just he's a talent that can be groomed. And you get the right pieces around him. I mean, just look at Kyler Murray. I mean, he gets gifted, pretty much one of the best 2 to 3 receivers in the league. And, now they're making some noise out in Arizona. And I feel like the same thing for Tua. I feel like he's just a couple of pieces away before he really gets out of here and we see how good he is.
The thing about Tua is that, and he got benched last week, and Flores wouldn't say, whether it was an injury. Of course, later on we know
it was injury.
Yeah. So, but Ryan Fitzpatrick, what does he do? What does he do? He comes out and he throws 257 yards, 2 touchdowns, and got him a win.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, my thing about it was I understand that they wanted to get Tua some run, but it's not like Fitzpatrick was playing horrible. He wasn't playing bad at that time. And so they had a winning record, which they still do. They're still in the playoff hunt. And so I just didn't understand it, and I didn't agree with them pulling Fitzpatrick.
Well,
yeah, and I think they probably should have let him finish out this season.
Well, look, to what you all were saying, I don't think Miami ends up making it to the playoffs. I think they'll lose against Kansas City. But you got to remember, they beat the Jets yesterday. I mean, even Central High School can beat up on the Jets. So I'll give credit where credit's due. But to that point, you got to remember, Fitzpatrick. Yeah, they can. But also, look, you beat the team you're supposed to beat. They beat the Jets, but they didn't beat the Broncos. So so they should be sitting at 8-3 versus 7-4. So there are still some question marks as it remains with the Miami Dolphins. I do see Baltimore coming back up and getting right now. They're right on the outside. I see Miami losing to the Chiefs and a couple of other games. So I see Baltimore going back in there. Perhaps maybe the Patriots or even the Raiders can get back in, into the playoff contention. So Miami, I think they had a real missed opportunity against the Denver Broncos last week when they could have and should have beaten them. And because they didn't, I think that, the way things are going to play out, Miami's going to be looking on the outside versus the inside. Right now, they're seeded number 6. If the playoffs were to start today, but I don't think that's how it's going to end when the season ends.
You know why they lost?
What about a team that's not getting the attention that they should be getting right now in those Buffalo Bills?
I mean, they got the attention. I mean, they lost against the Chiefs, so to me, they're irrelevant.
Now, I mean, you can call them irrelevant all you want to. Those Buffalo Bills are what? Sitting on the top of the division?
They are. Yep. And they just beat.
But they've been at the top of the division all season, so it's nothing new from what they were at the beginning of the year.
They are playing good football there. You can't deny that. They're not just sitting at the top of that division because their team's name begins with the letter B. They're playing good football.
I mean, good is relative. I mean, it went down to the wire with the Chargers yesterday. So I mean, they were the better team, yes. So they should have won that game. But again, kind of like the Chiefs, maybe it shouldn't have been as close.
Darren, stop it. There are no asterisks next to these W's during the season. If you win by 1 point, it is still a win. That counts.
Okay.
That means that the other team did not live up to their potential and get 2 points better than you did to be in that spot.
Winning isn't everything. It's the only thing, man. You know that. But the thing about it too is that.
Go ahead, nephew.
No, I mean, Josh Allen has been playing well, but their number 1 wide receiver, he hasn't even been playing that good. I mean, Stephon Diggs, he hasn't been playing like he was when he played the Chiefs. I mean, I think that was probably his last good game. Other than that, I mean, he hasn't really been playing well.
Steve, make sure you put Carly's comments up there. You have to say it. Just too close for comfort.
Carl, don't get on Darren's team. He doesn't need somebody to agree with him. So the W is the W.
No, but in all seriousness, I know we go back and forth, but again, this is a game of inches and on every given Sunday, but to me, at the end of the day, if you want to put yourself or separate yourself, from these other teams, you want to go out there and you want to make a statement each and every game if you have the opportunity. We know, look, we know for a fact when the Chiefs get on the field on Sunday against the Broncos, they're the much superior team. Well, the scores should reflect just that. And so, when it doesn't, again, it raises question marks. It makes you think, okay, well, why is the game much closer than what it has, any reason to be?
This is where I disagree with you at. Where and what game are you watching that you didn't see that the Chiefs were not the better team yesterday? What game were you watching? They did whatever they wanted to do. You seen?
I'll raise the ball on that question, nephew. I'll raise the ball on that question. So it's the AFC Championship, Darren. We win by 1 point. Are we not going to take the Super Bowl trip? Because it was just 1 point?
We're going to first thing smoking the Tampa too.
Well, and this speaks to my point. This speaks to my point from last week. And last week I made the point that, Chiefs fans over the past couple of seasons have gotten spoiled. So you want blowouts every week. You want the defense to be playing well because the other team can't keep up with the offense. But that's not going to happen. You're going to have weeks where you have close games. You're going to have weeks where they pick the spots that they want to highlight, whether it's on offense or on defense. And it all is predicated on the team that they're playing. And the team that they're playing, they couldn't stop them late in the game. But that's no surprise because it's Tom Brady. Like you're playing against Tom Brady and these weapons. Like,
okay, we have to stop for a second. Q just said predicate. Let's live on that $4 word for just a second. Now, here's one thing I will commend Patrick Mahomes on that us spoiled Chiefs fans now are just too complacent with the fact that we should be blowing these teams out because we have Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. At least
the Chiefs players himself say the same thing.
At least these last couple of weeks, he has been giving Chiefs fans heart palpitations in the fourth quarter by looking like we might end up losing the game. So at least it builds up your interest and gets your adrenaline going and gets you hyped. Just let him come back and do what he does. So I'll give him that much. I do feel like the Chiefs fan of old, where I'm waiting in the fourth quarter, like, oh my God, we're about to lose this game.
And now that you say that, it all makes sense now because you guys have PTSD from the 90s all the way up until about 2 years ago. So you guys are really you guys are really upset now.
I know what can happen. We can score points. Can allow the other team to outscore us as well.
And I know we didn't get to this with, Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, they're number 1 and number 2, and they lead the league.
In receiving yards?
Yeah, so Tyreek Hill, 1,021 receiving yards this season. Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce with 978 receiving yards. So you'll have 3 All-Pros on that offensive side of the ball.
And you know that puts Travis Kelce 22 yards away from being the only wide receiver in NFL history to have 6 1,000-yard seasons back to back to back.
That's right.
So records are being crushed by this team slowly and surely, and we see it every week. You see Patrick Mahomes break a record or two, and you see Tyreek Hill break a record or two, and Travis Kelce knocking down these numbers. So this team is doing damage to the league these numbers are going to stand for a very long time. Because these guys are dude, Patrick Mahomes is 12 years old. He has a 10-year contract. They're going to put up some numbers for a very long time.
Other teams will too. It's a passing league.
And they will, but they'll have to start from zero. So we're already on top of them by 1,000 yards. So
no, definitely.
And here's
they got some catching up to do. So Darren, this team offensively is doing some damage, and we're winning games.
Here's the thing that frustrates me too is that Chiefs fans are when the team starts off slow. They're like, man, why don't y'all come out guns a-blazing? Y'all can't start off this
all the time
and win it at the end. Now when they come out and they're throwing, 200 and some odd yards in the first quarter, it's like,
oh, they took their foot off the gas. Like it's become
yards in the second, third, and fourth quarter.
Yeah, it's just become predictable over the last 3 seasons. It's like, the Chiefs can do, they do everything right, and when they do everything right, it's jump on them for not scoring 50 points or not being 19-0. So it's just fun.
And
I mean, excuse me if the players themselves feel like they should be scoring 50 points a game. I mean, that ain't coming from me. That's coming from Patrick, Kelsey, Tyreek, all them.
Yeah,
they should be scoring 50 points a game.
And we're still missing some elements from the offense too. So
yeah, and people in hell want ice water, but everybody doesn't get all their wishes. There's a defense on the other side.
I don't know. Maybe your Philadelphia Eagles are just looking for a quarterback.
Why you shots fired? Why?
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm trying to because Chiefs are winning. I'm just saying, look. I mean, again, look. I'm consistent. I'm not going to accept anything in a win that I'm not going to accept in a loss. So that's all I'm saying. So
before we get out of here, Darren, we have to make picks for next week. Sunday Night Football against the Denver Broncos. This might be your opportunity to see the Chiefs put up 7,000 points, so you can feel better about yourself for next week's show. So, Darren, we'll let you pick first, just so you can feel better about a win being a win with too many points to overcome for the opponent.
Yeah, Chiefs will win 27-24.
Oh, I can't remember what movie it was, but the little kid, ice. All right, Q. The Broncos coming to Arrowhead for Sunday Night Football.
I don't see their offense putting up more than 10 points. If they get more than 10 points, it'll probably off a turnover or special teams. And the Chiefs will probably put up 35 to 40 points. Half of that might come from the defense.
And it all might come in the first quarter, Darren, and we might not score again in the second, third, or fourth quarter, which would probably tick you off really bad. Right. Yep. All right, nephew. Chiefs, Broncos, Arrowhead, Sunday Night Football.
Man, I'm going to go with 41-21. They're going to beat them by 20. But, that was 20.
You got them scored 21 points? Wow.
I got them scored 21. I do.
All right. That's definitely a gimme because I don't think they scored 21 points this decade.
Yeah,
I hate those donkeys. I really do. All right, that's going to do it for the Red Hour.
Chiefs are going to let their foot off the gas, and I'm just going to say I told you so.
Darren, what we want you to do tonight is go to bed and hold on to your Lombardi trophy closely. Tuck her in, rub on her head. Make her feel like the lady she is. We will do this again next week when we're talking more Chiefs football, getting closer look at the playoff picture in the NFL, and maybe we'll actually get to see the Ravens and the Steelers play this coming week. We'll talk about it all. And again, thank you, Devoya Marshall, for hooking us up and for being there for us and for being there for you because you can win with her every week. Give her a call at 816-601-3301. And next week, make sure you click on that link for your chance to win so you can be like Albert Hobson and have a Patrick Mahomes to hang up under your Christmas tree. That is going to do it for us. This has been the Red Hour. Y'all have a good week. Be safe, be well, and we'll see you next Monday.
Peace.